All right, so we're finally live. So thank you guys for watching this video. So today has been a very interesting day. I made 20% twice today, and
Pretty much, that's when you were supposed to
hold
go to
on,
infinity.
hold on. So made 20% twice today, and there are two tickers that we're talking about today. Actually, today started off really interesting and managed to make a really nice gain today. Let's see. So there we go. There we go. So today, it's Monday. What is today's date? Today's Monday is 5/15/23. So I traded three tickers today. We saw LMFA and GCIT, and we're gonna go discuss all those tickers. Three tickers today. I wanted to get out and make my quick profit on all these two tickers. The two tickers were actually a short, and I had two longs today. Today, what I actually did, I stopped buying those pops and drops and waited for them to consolidate and made higher high and VWAP reclaim. So last week we had a bunch of pops and drop. So I stopped buying them, and that ended up working really good. And so let's talk about like what has happened today, but after this amazing video. All right, so let's see. Where am I? I'm over here somewhere. So today has been pretty interesting day. As you know, I wake up each day at 7, look for the top gainers, and look what for stocks that are moving. And there were a couple of stocks that did really did move today. And one of the top stocks, as you can see here, was let me take my, there we go. Let me put my, there we go, so you can see me better. So it ended up being a 2K day. Let's see. Hold on. Let me turn on the light. It ended up being like 2K day by navigating these securities in the small cap market. So I mean, the ticker that came into my radar this morning was LMFA. That's probably the number one ticker that actually made money today. If I were gonna look at overall what I did make money on, let's see, we can get myself acquainted with this. So LMFA is actually an old LMFA. It's actually a really old pump. I think I traded this one in the past. I'm not really sure when I traded this ticker. It was a very long time ago, and I think if I look at my notes here, I think I traded it last year or somewhere about here or somewhere. Anyway, so the ticker popped up again. We had revenue, good earnings, and I think the revenue was up, I don't know, 2.3 million, and last it beat 1.4 million. You can see here the volume here. So I actually initially saw this thing. I actually caught it right about here somewhere on my scanner. If I were gonna look where exactly I did catch this one on my scanner was hold on, LMFIM. Hold on, so you can see that this is my pre-market scanner. Really good scanner to tell you the truth. When I'm waking up late, you see 802 LMFAA at 68 cents. So you can see so that my scanner caught it at 68 freaking cents. 68? How's that possible? LMFA 68 cents. Holy crap. That my scanner caught it really early. And looks like 60, yeah, LMFA says 68 cents, or I don't know. Wait a minute. No, that's the share float. Hold on, let me see where it is. Got it. 90 cents, 86 cents. So it actually 86 cents was it where it caught it. So my scanner caught LMFA at around 86 cents. So, I scanned for liquidity. So right here there was no that much liquidity. So it actually caught it right in this candle. You can see that, right here we're developing 45 million, 45,000, and 30,000. So you want stocks that are trading at least 50, 60, 70,000 shares, because if I buy a position of 5,000 shares, I mean, you don't want to be the only guy holding and not having able to. Anyway, so I saw it pop up. We pop up. I'm like, okay, that's gravy. And I'm like sitting and I'm watching. I'm doing other things and watching all these tickers on my amazing four screen setup that I have here. You see, so here, four screen setup. And soon enough, like I said in many of my videos, like this ticker was pretty much I watched it. I watched it to bounce for it to bounce off VWAP. I'm like, and it didn't, and that was a bummer because it never did. Hold on, let me take that off the way, so we can see the thing here. So I watched it to bounce off VWAP. Initially, I was like, yeah, let me buy the VWAP bounce, and I'm like, let's not. Let's not, because last week we didn't have that many VWAP bounces that really bounced really freaking well. And I'm like, let's not buy the VWAP bounce. And soon enough, it failed VWAP, and I'm like, thank God I didn't buy the VWAP bounce, which actually it hesitated there at $1. So I was watching other tickers, and soon enough, this thing ended up gearing right about here. It was gearing. What does gearing mean? Actually, gearing is a term I found in another chat room long years ago. I never really understood what does gearing means and perking means, and so I was a member of another chat room, and gearing and perking, I'm like, I don't know what the f that means. So this is like a gear process. It's like you go up, you make a push, and then you hold above this 1 minute high, which is just right there, and then you make a higher high. So that is technically your gearing stage. And soon enough, that ended up, I actually did go long at about, if I were gonna say, I actually did go long at around, you see my orders here. LMFA. LMFA. It was an easy trade, actually, to tell you the truth. It was not that hard. It was just very easy and straight to the freaking point. And you can see so here at LMFA, it was around a 15. I think it was a 15, 20 minute trade or something. Anyway, so um I pretty much came in at 841 and 5,000 shares at $1, which was great. So I initially bought in this candle here, and I'm like, okay, as long as this piece of crap is holding VWAP, I'm good. Technically, I could have gotten in at like 95 cents. But technically, that's probably the ideal entry, and I'm sure some of you got in at 92 cents if you thought this setup would be ideal. So soon enough, we come back down to the support area. Well, this is not the area that I bought it. Sorry, this is the area that I bought it, because it was gearing here, and we double bottom here, and we formed this really nice trend. And soon enough, I bought it at $1. I'm like, okay, it holds $1. I'm in. And soon enough, we came back down. We pushed down to $1. We got picked back up. So I really like tickers that break and hold $1. I like tickers that break and hold $1. To tell you the truth, those are some of the best setups, because it breaks $1 and now it holds $1. A lot of people, when they see the dollar roll or the $5 roll or the, I don't know, 50. Well, actually, the dollar break is one of the best setups that I pretty much, because it's $1. Everybody thinks $2, $3, $4. So every big number break is important. So in this situation, you see that this is a dollar break. So we broke $1 and it held $1. It's very basic and simple technical analysis. Soon enough, we just perked up there. We can see, so here we went up to $1.10. I have 10%. We come back down, formed this really crazy wick here at $1, and then we ramp back up. And I'm like, holy crap! I'm up 22%. I'm gonna lock it in. So that's kind of like where I did lock it in. And that was like a 1K winner right there. 5K at 99 and out at 122. Great opportunity in this ticker, no doubt about it. And soon enough, we came back down to VWAP, where I did think to technically take it again long. Technically, you could have taken this again long, since the downtrend was right about there, and we and that coincided with VWAP there. So technically, you could have taken that long at 110 because soon enough it hit like 137. I really didn't really like the daily because it's a bit congested. I mean, you can see these candles here. They go from 78, 95. So it's like 20 cents a share, 10 cents a share, 10 cents a share, and then 20 cents a share. So I was not a big fan of the daily. I actually didn't think it's gonna go so high. I actually thought it's gonna do like 110, 120, and soon enough, I found myself in a position that I'm up 20%, and I took it and I ran. That's kind of like the idea here, and now it's becoming. And soon enough, I think this ticker sold off. So you can see, so here is just a bunch of mumbo jumbo that you could actually short it. Say you were to short it at like 137, 139. I mean, risking off the 148 mark because that's technically resistance area. And soon enough, that I mean, if I will look at the daily here, I mean, I don't know if you want me to draw this line here. That's kind of like resistance, resistance, resistance. So we hit resistance on the dot there at 137 before we died on the daily. So that was like my $1,500 my $1,000 trade for the day. And moving on to my next trade. My next trade was WISA. So WISA was pretty simple, and WISA is trading right now. So when I first looked at the thing, I was like, okay, WISA is a 3.6 milli float. I'm very excited about that, and it was trading like 6 million in the pre-market. So I'm like, okay, it's trading 6 million in the pre-market. That's pretty good. So if I were gonna you can see, so here pre-market WISA, it was trading around 6 million in the pre-market, and I'm like, okay, it rotated the flow 2 times, and I mean, it should squeeze and it should go higher. I mean, the news was WISA expects acquisition to be accredited beginning Q4, signs letter of intent to acquire something. So WISA Technology signs letter to intent to acquire Compeer under terms would acquire all states. So letter of intent to acquire something. Terms not disclosed. That's definitely a red flag. When the terms are not disclosed, that's definitely a red flag. So, WISA expects acquisition to be accredited, sees potential future revenue 10 to 13 million. So, I really, it's a deal. Whenever you have news like terms not disclosed, I'm not really a big fan of it. So soon enough, that's really what happened. I really did. There's two things I liked about WISA. Two things I liked about WISA. I liked the float, about 3 million shares. I liked the volume pre-market, which is 7 million. I liked the daily. The daily was good. It was somewhat of a clean chart that it could go up to like $4 or $5, but the news was sketchy. No terms disclosed, future revenue of the next year. It was nothing like substantial. As I teach in my course, you need something substantial, like earnings. They were better. They were like they were 20 times more than were last year. Something astronomical. Like they have a deal with Google. They have a deal with Amazon. They have a deal with Facebook. Something astronomical. When you see like I have a deal and then we don't know like where is it gonna go. It's just future prospect earnings and no terms disclosed. You get into this gray area, and that's kind of like exactly how this ticker has been trading. So you can see, so here that this ticker has been trading very. I mean, initially, my first long was as it broke this downtrend at 233, and I mean, it was a great setup because I saw this 233. I'm like, let's get going. And soon enough, that didn't work out. I was down about 10 cents at one point, and that was my stop. As we came out of this downtrend, I was expecting a bigger push out of WISA. Say we got like 280, and once I saw that, it was weak. Usually second time around or third time around to break the downtrend to go hit highs and possibly go to $3. That's kind of like what I was looking for on this ticker, and I bought it at 230, and I think I was down 10 cents at one point, and that was my stop right there, 234. And we came back up to my entry, and I'm like, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna take my flat, which I did, and I just walked. I also oversized this position, and I thought this one is gonna do a lot better than it actually did. That's why I oversized, and then it came back up to my entry, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna take it out for flat. And even though, I mean, even when it broke 237, I was looking at it and I'm like, why is it not breaking? Why is it not going? And we soon enough flop. And then soon enough, we broke the highs of 240, which I thought about buying because it hit 260. So there was definitely, you see that high there, and you see this is an opening range breakout, 230, 240. I thought about buying 230, 240 to hit 260, and soon enough, we hit 268. So the next trade I'm going to talk to you guys about, which I'm very excited about, the other trade I'm going to talk to you about is the first red day short, how I managed this position and how I was able to, get 20%, a 20% trade on a first red day short. And actually, I came out winning how exactly I did this trade. So my next trade was, you can see so here, my next trade was actually GCIT, and right now it's actually squeezing towards the moon. And I'm going to tell you my thought process in it. I really didn't want to short it that bad, because I mean it went up a lot higher than I thought. No, it didn't. It went up a lot higher in the pre-market. You can see so here that GCIT was the top gainer on Friday, I think. You can see so normally what happens is on Friday over the weekend, people go on Finviz or whatever, and they look at all these tickers, the top gainers of the top five, and they pretty much put them on the radar. And if that ticker goes from red to green, they pretty much buy it. So I knew everybody was watching this ticker, and I knew they were waiting for it to go green on the day, but I didn't know if that's going to happen. So I traded GCIT this morning, and I was looking at, because I knew on Friday, I knew over the weekend they watched GCIT because there was pretty much a lot of volatility from 4 to 8. I mean, that's a lot of volatility to make money in GCIT, and soon enough, my first short was actually right there, and I was risking off 509, and I was not really that excited to short it, to tell you the truth, because I mean it was up, it was down from like $8, and I'm shorting it, red to green here with a tight stop, but I only really used about 1,500 shares. So I wasn't really using a lot of shares, to tell you the truth. You can see like my GCIT buys and sells. So I was not really using a huge position. 1,000 shares is not a big deal to me, because $100, $200. You can see so here that I really did not fat finger it at all. 1,000, 1,500 shares at around 487 was not a big deal for me. And what I looked at it, I was looking at it, and I'm like, I'm shorting it, risking off the 5 because that's a round number. Like I said in many of my videos, $1, we break a dollar, we hold a dollar. It's very freaking simple. So we break a dollar LMFA, we hold a dollar, and then we go straight to 140. So in this situation, GSIT, we broke below $5, which is a round number, is a whole $5 mark. And now the $5 wall becomes resistance. So I was risking off that. That was kind of like the thought process here. And you can see so that we broke through the 5, like 510, which is a round number. And that is where I got my first entry short at around 487. And soon enough, I mean, the stock did try to spike, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, it better not go to 5. And soon enough, we have a market open, and I'm like sitting with my freaking market order just in case we just blast off through 5. risking 20 cents a share from 490. I mean, it's not a big deal. Risking 20 cents with a $1,500 position, 1,500 share position is not a big deal. So I was risking around 20, 30 cents on it, and I made like, I don't know, 70 cents on it. So I was pretty happy with that. So we pretty much pushed into the open, and soon enough, see this push, we pushed into the round number 5, and like I said, round number, it's a round number, like $1 and $1 and so forth. And soon enough, we went into a huge rejection. It's no coincidence. We actually hit $5 on the dot. I think it was 502 for, and immediately rejected back down to 470. And I mean, and then we went to into a humongous candle, 480 to 433. We went into a halt, and soon enough, I covered most of my 405. I think my best cover was around 411 to 487, and that was I think it was my greatest trade of the day so far. And soon enough, that was the greatest fill of all time. If you guys can't see that, because right now, it actually what it did was it did a VWAP reclaim, and we're in the 6-ish, 7-ish. So you got to understand that, on the weekend, people look for stocks that are that pretty much perform really well, and GCIT performed really freaking well. And I mean, I took the short. To me, in my mind, it was a great idea to go short this ticker, but in the overall scheme of things, seems like, I mean, I saw them. I'm like, if the 5 buyers are not coming, it's gonna go straight down the drain. But soon enough, they bought that dip, and you can see that, we had a pullback. We bought the $4 dip, and we had a VWAP reclaim over 5, and that was actually a buy point. When the stock goes from red to green, that's your freaking buy point. It goes underneath 5, it dips to 4, and 5 is your red on the day to green on the day. And that's exactly what happens today. Very nice. I like I said, I'm not really good at my longs, and it's squeezing the snot out of the shorts. The beginner shorts. I'm an expert short. I lost so much money shorting the wrong things and shorting it the wrong way. I take my stop loss really quick. I don't know how many low floats I shorted a micro float, and it went like 100% against me. So I know exactly how sensitive I am with my shorts. So I'm also a little bit more sensitive with my longs, to tell you the truth. So soon enough, we broke that opening range breakout of 5, and we hit like 620. That is ridiculous. Thank God I covered that trade. Thank God I covered the trade. I'm very happy with my trading day. It was a low stress day, I'll tell you the truth. Overall, I'm up like 2K for the day. Low stress. I didn't really overstay my welcome. I woke up at 7, traded for 3-4 hours today. We're at 11. We're doing a nice recap of everything. It's around 10:34, and I'm all about my day. Locking in my gains and playing it safe. Other than that, don't see any other questions. I'm not sure if I see any other questions, but if I do, we'll read them. Don't. And I will continue on with another day trading. Make sure you check me out. Link is in the description below. I have had a lot of questions in my email. Please bear with me. I cannot respond to all your emails. I do check my messages every 3 to 4 days. All the information is on my website. How to subscribe, what are the terms, conditions, and it's not, and how to profit from this market, and then make sure you get through the course first. I mean, last week has been very interesting. There were some pops and drops, and a lot of people there's a couple of people that thought, you want to perform brain surgery with no education. And that's the reason people don't watch the full videos. I mean, my average video, last weekend's video was about 8 minutes average view. You have to watch the whole thing to understand, and you have to apply what I have to say, not just watch the video that I have to say. Most people don't even watch the video. They just want to just jump into trading without any proper education. They just skim through the boring stuff and they just want to get into trading. Sadly, that's not the way. You will need to at least watch 6 months of screen time to get comfortable with trading, where to put your stop losses, and get comfortable with the stock market. It's a long, it's not an easy path, but you should take a safer path to your trading. So make sure you go through the course and apply what I have to say, including taking your stop losses when you should, and always have a maximum stop loss per ticker per trade. I was a pretty genius trader today. Traded, I mean, this GCIT fills on the bottom at 405 was perfect for me to get in and out with 1,500 shares and lock in my day. Soon enough, it's squeezed to like seven. So I have learned my lesson to come in at the right time, and I trade during a very strong period of time between 7 and 11. I use all my energy throughout that time, and I don't use my full potential between 11 and like 4, because I know throughout my data and my numbers, my trading is not that spectacular. But in this situation, you can see so that GCIT, which doesn't really happen that often, squeezed the snot out of the shorts, which is I was one of them this morning, and I'm glad I got out. And I think I covered at the utmost bottom. And make sure you watch these tickers that I'm trading each and every day. I mean, I trade them, most of them, 70% of them, I trade them accurately. And you have to apply the course that I have made for you to not lose money, and stop out when you should, and understand what you're doing. Other than that, it's been a fun time chatting with you guys, and it was a great trading day, and it was low stress, and that's how trading should be. Should be low stress, like watching paint dry. And if you're uncomfortable with your position at any time, you should just get out or size down. Other than that, you guys have a good one, and see you all in my next video. Peace.